Hello YouTube and welcome to Meet the Booru. I'm Weggies, joined today by co-host Takenoko.
Hello! Today we have a special episode for you. Meet the Brew Couples Edition. Say hello to SpagettiDave and SkettiWifu.
Hello.
Hello.
They can be found on Skype at SpagettiDave and Simple Weapon, all one word, and also on the Brew at SpagettiDave and SkettiWifu. Links will be in the description below.
Okay, so on with questions. Let's start with the origins and meanings of your Brew names. Dave, you can go first.
We had this silly little game thing called Dragon Cave, and we had to make stupid names for the dragons on there that you grow, and I just came up with Spaghetti Dave, and I figured I would pick something that I've never used before, so this couldn't get back to me in real life.
That's a valid concern.
Yeah.
He was worried about it.
SkettiWife, that wasn't actually your first Booru name. Do you have a story about that?
I do. So, because everybody knew him as Spaghetti Dave, and I wanted it to be kind of like his name since I came in because of him. My first name was Lasagna Calara, but that was really stupid. And then Bosnia in the Skype chat, he kept calling me SkettiWifu anyway, and I thought that was really, really, really cute. So I changed it to SkettiWifu because that's what everybody called me anyway.
Fair enough. Oh, and Dave, a lot of people want to know, is your name Dave?
It is not. It is not Dave.
And it's really weird. It's
which
really
makes
weird.
it really, when she accidentally almost calls me Dave in front of, people.
Because most people have like nicknames, like your online nickname, like mine, SkettiWifu. That's such an out of the park kind of name, or like Weggies. That's not anywhere near a name. He chose a screen name that is a name, and it's really hard when I'm talking like to our friends and family, and I'll say, "Yeah, Dave was," and then I'd have to think about it, like, "Oh, that's not his name," and then I have to say his name. And he said that if I ever did that accidentally, he'd go, "Who's Dave? Who's this Dave fellow?" He's not going to own up to it. They're going to think I'm cheating on him with some guy named Dave.
Cool. So whereabouts do you currently reside?
We're out here in the wonderful cold state of Michigan.
Michigan, not as cold as Boston,
No.
but it's pretty bad.
Dave, I hear you have a degree in a thing.
I do. A couple, I guess.
Ooh,
I've gotten
super
a
smarts.
Yeah. I've got my associates in science, and I was originally going to go for chemical engineering. And then when I had organic chemistry and differential equations in the same semester and failed both, I'm like, I'm going to have to change this. So then I switched it up, and I got my bachelor's in religious studies with a minor in business.
Huh.
So with all those degrees, what do you do for an occupation?
I'm a manager. Oh boy.
He uses them all right. It's the best.
So
Yeah.
you're a manager that manages.
People, at a gas station.
Ah,
The money is decent.
Money's more than decent.
I made more than my friend who is an IT tech.
I don't know if
That's
that's
not
like
bad.
bragging. Yeah.
Well, and he did IT tech work, and I made more than him last year.
Yep.
Pretty
That's why
funny.
That's why I keep him.
Yeah.
All that money.
so speaking of all that money, I hear you travel quite a bit for business or pleasure.
Always pleasure.
Ah,
He's gone to some really cool places. Like his family have gone on really cool vacations, like to Japan, to like Germany, all those cool places. I've been to like Yellowstone, which is nice. I love going to naturey stuff, but he's got all these cool locales that he's been to, and I've just been like, I went in the woods once. It was great.
So this was Sans SkettiWife or Super Sexy Times?
I was 13, so neither were appropriate. I've been to Germany, France, Austria, Japan, Hong Kong, and then after she came along, we went to Italy, and then we do trips to Vegas and Florida a lot.
Yeah, we like Vegas a lot.
That's pretty good. So Dave, about how old are you?
I'm about 33, 34. I'm going to be 34. I'm
Oh,
going to be
wow.
34. I'm
I don't
old.
remember when I was born.
It's so long ago. And
I was
my
just
wife has given
created.
me so many gray hairs that I just don't remember.
It's really funny because just today, his dad, we saw his dad today, and he was like, "Oh, you've got a gray hair in your beard." He's like, "Oh," and he's like, "Oh, and you got some in your hair." Oh, poor honey. I don't have any gray. I'm 31. I don't have nothing. Beautiful hair.
Oh.
Now, speaking of age, I would like to point out my favorite line is that men age like fine wine and women age like milk.
Oh.
Oh my.
Yep, he's really witty. I didn't know that he was going to say that because he's totally random and doesn't say the same stuff over and over and over. See, I'm not swearing.
Okay, so before we destroy your relationship, let's
Too
talk about
late.
something else.
Thanks, guys.
Um, okay, so something a bit more innocent. What's your favorite color?
Purple, because the best color is purple color.
How about you, Dave?
Which purples are ugly?
The purples that have more red in them is not as nice as the purples with more blue in them. I feel like, I don't like going towards the magenta-y area. So, yeah.
Okay.
She has it down to a science.
Dave,
Dave, what is your favorite color?
I don't really have one.
you're a liar.
I don't.
And why is everything yellow?
Not everything is not yellow.
Everything is yellow. If it's not purple, because that's the best, it's flipping yellow.
Greens and blues, but I only pick yellow because it makes her angry.
I don't like yellow. So he had a yellow car. He had yellow glasses.
I had them both before you.
When we bought our kayaks, he bought a yellow kayak.
Because it made her so angry.
So, what kind of foods do you guys like to eat?
Oh, everything.
So I say, go ahead.
I don't have a favorite.
He doesn't have favorites. He's terrible. I'll tell you what I like. I like sushi because it's great. I like chicken because it's pretty great. Cheesecake's pretty great. Did I say sushi because it's really great? I drink lots of Pepsi because that's the best too. He likes rum. Does that count as a food?
That's
No.
that's a
Food.
food.
Oh yeah.
Rum, vodka, whiskey.
Those are some good foods.
They are. I just don't have favorites. I just don't. I like a lot of different stuff.
So I guess rather than favorites, since we've established that you guys don't have favorites, or that Dave doesn't have favorites,
He does.
what kind of movies and TV shows do you like?
Oh, Game of Thrones, pretty good. Boardwalk Empire was great. Sons of Anarchy. Movies. Oh, yeah. Big Trouble in Little China. One of the best
Yeah.
ever.
Oh, why? Why? Why that one? That's not even good.
It is. Have you watched it?
Yeah, you made me watch it.
I know, and it was amazing.
You are a terrible person. Like, for reals.
And this is what I live with.
Any more movies? No?
No, that's a fine list.
So I don't really watch TV shows anymore. I've totally migrated to YouTube almost entirely and just watch Let's Plays and shows on YouTube. So like Game Grumps, The Yogscast, Hat Films, that kind of stuff. But I love Mystery Science Theater 3000, so I think that counts as both movies and TV shows, but it's all reruns. There's no new stuff anymore. So I like that. I like girly movies. The Pride and Prejudice, the BBC version was great. That's about kind of lame. Sailor Moon. Oh my god, I forgot about Sailor Moon. How did I forget about that? Sailor Moon's the bomb diggity.
All right, who is best sailor?
Mercury.
You know what, man? All your answers are just to bother me. That's legit.
Sailor Mercury is the best scout.
No,
If I had to have a waifu, it would be Sailor Mercury.
it's tough to decide between the two, but Pluto or Saturn are best Sailor Scout. And the show, if you guys don't know, and I think the new episode came out this last Saturday, they're re-releasing it. It's brand new again. They totally new animation and whatnot, and it's really, 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 really good. So I've been catching up on, been watching that Sailor Moons because it's the best.
Yeah. The new run came out. They just got to Chibi Moon, didn't they?
Yes, they did. That's what I love about it. It's so much faster. It's more fast-paced than the original, which had like a monster of the day. Now it's just as fast as the manga. So it's just the story. It's not filler. It doesn't look like there's filler or anything because they didn't seem to put any. I'm really excited. I like it. Do you watch it?
I do. Kind of on
You
and
like
off.
it?
I need to catch up though.
Did you like it so far?
It's pretty cool.
Did you read the manga?
I never read the manga. I saw the first series though, and like all of the sequels.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Sailor Moon is good, but Evangelion is probably one of the better ones. Just saying.
It's good. I did watch that for him. He asked me to watch a couple series, so we watched Evangelion, Sword Art Online. I didn't watch Attack on Titan. Do you watch that?
Yeah, I've seen AOT. It's pretty good. Shingeki no Kyojin.
Yeah.
Ooh, all fancy with the name.
Oh,
Yeah, man, he was good at that.
Yeah.
Oh, I made you watch Macross.
Yeah, the first one. I didn't watch any of the other ones. It was good. I thought it was all right. It was funny. You know, it was like the old style animation, but I liked it.
And you were all upset when Roy died.
I did.
Aw,
Spoilers.
Oh.
This came out in the late 70s, early 80s. Hey, spoiler, Jesus dies. Oh, but don't worry, he comes back.
Dave, what the heck? I didn't get to the end of that yet.
Haven't finished watching Passion of the Christ yet. Man,
I hope you just start, keep repeating the same scene, you sick man.
Wow. This turned really.
it's turned dark quick.
This turned into just normal talking, not.
Well, on a less sacrilegious note, what kind of music do you like?
I like all music. All music is good music.
I don't really have a favorite either. I do like Lindsey Sterling, which my wife hates.
I'm telling you right now, all of his answers, he's just trying to get a rise out of me, and it's not going to happen.
She does not like women that play the violin, especially if they're cute.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard of the band called Bond?
No.
I have not.
It is a quartet of women string players.
Oh my!
And
But do they
are,
play nerd
quite
music,
attractive.
though? Do they make nerd music, though? Because I think that's probably more for him than the girl.
The music's good. They're very talented.
You will have to link me to some of their stuff later.
Or you could not be lame and just fucking go on YouTube and look at it.
Oh,
yeah,
he
but I'm
curse.
lazy.
Yeah, okay, pause the interview right now and go look. So, is there any music and stuff that you don't like, waifu? You're a little too easygoing.
Yeah, no, I like it all. I grew up in Detroit, so that's like every single kind of music station there is in Detroit. And so I listened to everything growing up, and I just kind of, maybe country, because that's not as prevalent, but I don't dislike it. It's just I wasn't like brought up on it. But I like rap, R&B. I like alternative is probably my favorite. Techno. I like dirty dubstep.
Grimy.
Just grimy,
Ugh,
just super
so
dirty,
grimy.
just so all over.
They drop the bass and then you need to take a shower.
Yep. Just love that dirty dubstep. So I just kind of like everything. I like show tunes. I like Broadway music. I like it all.
Yeah.
Oldies. I can keep going. Let me keep going.
I think we get the picture at this point.
Okay.
Kind of just a little. So, what kind of games do you guys play? PC, console?
PC Master Race.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Gaming Master Race.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I used to play console games back when we had an Atari and a Nintendo. And then
That's how old we are. We had Ataris.
we had Ataris when I was a kid. I had an Atari 2600.
Hey, I still
All right,
have an Atari.
Hey,
Oh, yeah.
kids, go on Google and look up Atari.
It was
You'll learn
good. I had Pitfall. That was my favorite game on there.
Pitfall. Fuck that game.
It was hard. You couldn't. You know what I had? I had ET. I had ET, and I tried to play it because I didn't realize that it was
Everybody
a
has
terrible
ET.
game.
They
true.
produced more
Everybody-
carts than consoles.
It's true. But I played PlayStation for Sega, then PlayStation. Never had a Super Nintendo, and then I just went straight to computer. I never had any of the other consoles. Dave
Rock
has
Band.
played other ones.
Yeah,
Rock
Rock-
Band. We play Rock Band. Well, we have a Wii now, and we have an Xbox 360, but we haven't bought the new ones because we haven't been. What's the last console game you played?
Rock Band.
Before-
South Park, Sword of Truth. That was a
That's
really
true.
fun game.
That was a cool game.
That's also available on PC.
That's
other,
true. Most
other
are.
fine titles are available.
My favorite PC game is probably, let me see. I have
Borderlands.
189 hours in Borderlands 2. Borderlands 2. In Skyrim, we lost our files, so I don't know how many hours I had in that.
We
Oh.
had over 500 between our saves.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
Civ 5, I love that one. Right now, Speedrunners, Meth Walkers.
So you play speedrunners with other members of the Booru?
Yeah.
We like to say it's friendly, but
More like
It's not.
creating enemies.
it's it's like when we're all really aggressive and we just need to let out the aggression somehow. Like something angered us on the Booru. It's like, let's play Meth Walkers. Come on. And we just scream at each other for an hour. Actually, lately we've been playing Left 4 Dead 2, which has been really fun because I'm super scared of zombies. Like, whoa. And they got me to play it, and it's been really fun with friends.
That's pretty good. Are there any other games you're currently working on?
We played Lethal League a little bit. Oh, the pre-sequel. Borderlands, the pre-sequel. We kind of stopped, though, for some
Yeah,
reason.
it was
Started
hard
playing
getting
other
our,
games.
our schedule together.
Yeah. That's something that just Dave and I play together. That's our game. You guys can't have it. It's our game.
One of my favorite games I've been playing or played lately was Transistor,
Oh, yeah.
which was done by the guys that did Bastion, and the soundtrack is amazing. It's a great game.
You've been playing Besiege, hasn't you? Haven't you?
I picked it up, I played like 10 minutes, and then that was about as far as I got. Not that it's bad, it was just I found something else that I need to take care of, and I just haven't gotten back to it.
All right. Be sure to get back to
Shiny.
it. So much crazy, awesome stuff you can do.
something's- Something wants my attention.
Oh.
That's how it goes.
Oh.
So, speaking of other things, what are your other hobbies?
Well, I just realized it a minute ago. Kayaking is kind of a big hobby for us. In the summertime, anyway. We did kayak in the winter a little bit.
And there were actually people out. It was like 30 degrees. We're thinking, oh, we'll be the only ones out on the river because,
Nope.
everything's covered in snow. And we saw like a dozen people. And each person we passed were like, thought we were the only ones dumb enough to come out here when it's cold.
Nope, there's a dozen of us that are stupid. But I love we used to canoe, and I was not good at it because I grew up, like I said, in Detroit. There is water in Detroit, but you don't go in that water. That's not, you just don't go in it.
It's only for bodies.
Yeah, that's just not good. Dead fish floating. So when I met him, we went canoeing, and I was not good at it, and we tipped 3 times in the same trip,
Twice.
and it was
It
terrible.
was just twice. It was twice.
Was it twice?
It was just twice.
Okay, twice then. But so we said all of our friends had bought kayaks, and we're like, maybe we should get some. So we got some, and you can't tip those. I mean, I guess you can if you're super drunk, but it's perfect. Like, I just love it. It's nice. You spend 4 or 5 hours on the river just relaxing. It's wonderful. Get drunk. It's great.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, I love it.
Flat drunk and water doesn't mix.
Not when you're in things that are very hard to tip. Then you're pretty
Yes.
good. You know, I know I'm a fluffy, but I
Fluffy
have
20
managed
grams.
to. I have managed not to drown.
Well, I guess
So
it
we
helps
do-
if you're chopped up in the freezer. Ice
Yeah.
floats.
That is actually true. Dave used to do car modding. He's
Yeah, I
not.
used to. Everyone will laugh. I don't care. It was a Cavalier. I'd done all the stuff to it. I had Lambo doors, body kit,
It's the
carbon
reason I
fiber
fell in
hood.
love with him. Was this car?
Oh,
I
The
built my own
cheesy
projector
stuff.
headlights. Cheesy
Mhm.
stuff. Yeah, it was loud. It was obnoxious.
Mhm.
I won a couple car shows with it.
It was yellow.
It was yellow.
He had matching glasses that were also yellow. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Nope,
It's
not
okay
wrong.
if it's a show car, but
It was lowered. Did some engine work to it.
people who put the fart cans on a Cavalier and think it's gonna go faster is just hurts me inside.
No. I knew it was not fast, but
I want to tell
What?
him about our first date. Can I? I mean, I already said it, so I'm gonna just go ahead. So on our first date, he was driving me to his house, and there's this big curve when you're coming towards our house, and he hit it, and it was in the wintertime, and it wasn't really icy, but there was a lot of salt down for ice that was going to be, and he totally spun that car out, just spun it. And what
Oh.
broke on it when he spun it?
Oh, the when I hit the grass on the side, it busted one of the side skirts.
Yep. Yeah.
No big deal though, and I was actually pretty impressed because I was going 75. I didn't really hit anything, and she didn't scream.
I did not scream. I think if I remember correctly, I went, "If I die, I swear," and that was it. Like, that's all.
It's as far as you got.
Then I fell in love.
Oh.
But we don't do that. He doesn't do car stuff anymore. Now we collect.
I collect toys. She said I needed a new hobby after I got rid of the car, and I was like, well, I don't know. And she's like, you need to pick a hobby, collect something again. I'm like, well, toys, but that'd be a little expensive. She's like, just do it. And now I've got like 10 to 12 grand worth of toys and displays.
Not toys specifically, but dolls.
Uh,
Not like love dolls.
Now
Okay.
you can censor this if you have to, but eat it.
Write it
they're
down.
action figures.
I guess 3 of them could be considered dolls. They're the
action
media.
figures. God. Oh.
God,
Well, no,
what
they're
was
the
those dolls?
MediaCom real action figures. They're
Vinyl figurines. I
no,
believe.
they got cloth clothing. They stand a foot tall. There's Guts from Berserk, and I have Link from Legend of Zelda.
Excuse me, they're actual cloth clothing on these.
Well, yeah,
Yes.
that's
Plastic.
why they were so expensive.
I forgot
That is
about
super
Berserk.
cool.
You made me watch that too.
Yeah,
That one
she
scarred me.
hated Berserk.
Scarred me. I liked it. I really did. Like, that's one of his coolest figures, if you will, or whatever. In his case, is Guts. But no, that one scarred me. Oh my god. And now I'm collecting dolls. I have Sailor Moon dolls.
Figures.
Ooh.
Figures, excuse me. I'm collecting figures. They're posable. I can make them do things. Unspeakable things. It's great.
Oh.
It's great.
Talk about sacrilege. Ooh.
Not with Sailor Moon. Are you kidding me? It probably doesn't have as much porn as MLP, but there's a lot of it.
It's also been around longer.
Yeah, a little bit longer.
Just a tad. So I hear you also like to go shooting.
We do shooty.
Oh.
Yeah.
I got a purple shooty, and it sparkles in the light. It's a delight, let me tell you.
Ooh, such rhymes.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
rhymed light with delight.
So, Dave, do you have yellow shooty?
I do not, as much as I would like one.
Yeah, he looked.
I did
What
look.
do you have
Uh,
nice.
We've got a set of Sig Sauer mosquitoes. They're just 22 handguns, nothing
They're his
crazy.
and hers.
And then I've got a 1948 Mauser from Yugoslavia, and also a 1893/95 Boer model Mauser. The bolts are just so amazing on those. And then also a M1 carbine that I got for the wife.
Yep. I have one that I've shot twice.
And it broke each time.
And it broke each time. You fixed it, though. And it's not my fault it broke, by the way, before everyone's like, oh, she's lame. No, it's not me.
It was the bolt came apart. And
yeah, it has issues. It's not new.
So, yeah, we do some shooting and stuff.
Pretty good with it.
Yeah, nothing crazy. We're not, gun-toting Republicans.
No, we did get our CCWs, though.
CPLs.
Whatever. That's right. It's new. Different name.
Yeah, same thing, different name. Concealed pistol license.
Yep, so we can go and exercise our rights at Disney World.
I'm pretty sure you can't take handguns into Disney World, but...
No, you can't. You can't. But if I wanted to, I could. And then they'd be like, excuse me, ma'am. Get out. And I say, but America.
So can you just take them anywhere else except for Disney Worlds?
It depends on how many people are in the building and what kind of building it is, correct?
Yeah, and there's also if they have posted that weapons are not allowed, then legally you aren't supposed to bring it in. There's lots of small little rules like that.
Yeah. You have to take a class. And you have to learn to call 911 and then yell out, I'm scared for my life and I'm going to protect myself so that you're fine.
Oh, wow.
And never yell, I'm going to kill you. Never say that.
I'm trying to stop you and I'm going to protect myself.
Yes, I'm going to protect myself and I will stop you.
Yes. It's a very interesting class.
That's the key word. And never shoot him in the back.
Don't shoot them in the back.
If
they're running.
Loopholes.
If they're running, let them run.
Unless you can run faster and get in front of them.
Yeah. Then tomorrow on the news, you see SpagettiDave and SkettiWifu in jail today.
The Booru will be so popular.
Shooting peoples. So yeah, that's what we do. That's our hobbies.
Yeah.
All right. So, I guess now we should move on to pony stuff. To start, have either of you actually watched like a full episode of MLP Friendship is Magic?
Nope.
I've seen 2 episodes. I think I watched the first 2, and it didn't do it for me. I'll watch anime, I'll watch, stuff on Adult Swim, I'll watch Adventure Time or regular show, but MLP just did not do it for me.
Oh well. So, despite not actually seeing a lot of the series, do either of you have favorite ponies?
Yes. Purple Smarty pony with glasses. That's best pony. Purple pony. Best pony.
Do you like her specifically because she is purple, or do you know anything else about her?
I googled purple pony, and that's the pony that came up.
Alright, so we have the purple one. What about you, Dave?
I'll go with a yellow one just to make her angry.
Who's the yellow?
Is there a yellow one?
There is a yellow one.
Okay, I'll go with that.
Isn't Fluttershy?
Fluttershy.
Yeah, I have no idea who that is.
Yeah.
And
Oh, she's cute. She's got wings. Oh, I like Fluttershy. She's got wings.
But she's yellow, you can't like her.
But she's got pink hair, so it's okay.
Oh, worst colors.
Yellow.
I'm gonna make a story about her now.
I'm sure there's other yellow. Is there any other yellow ponies?
There are other yellow ponies, but like she's the main yellow pony.
Oh. You'll have to like be a hipster pony person and like find the obscure yellow pony, and that's your favorite pony.
I'm sure there's already porn of that.
There is.
Is there a hipster pony?
There are several hipster ponies. Like there are also ponies. They're just kind of background ponies that appeared for like one episode ever. That weren't focused on at all. That are people's favorite ponies.
Like Derpy?
Derpy's had some focus.
I remember all the drama when that came about. That was my first real intro to MLP. Was when I saw all the internet drama and how upset that MLP was when they found out what Derpy meant.
So, since you guys haven't really watched the series, do you want to start watching it all?
It hasn't. It's not something that catches my fancy. I like the animation. I think it's cute. But the story, it hasn't like caught me enough to want to watch it. So probably not. I'm not against animated, like watching cartoons, FYI. It's just, it hasn't really got me.
Right, okay. What about you, Dave?
I'm kind of in the same boat. You know, I tried it, it just didn't do it for me. So, and my, you know, main interest with all this stuff was fluffies. So, I get it. I get that's where it came from, but the source of it just doesn't do it for me.
You know, that brings up a really good question. Since you guys aren't really into Friendship is Magic, that's kind of where most fluffy people kind of come from. So, how did you two find your way to Fluffy Booru?
Oh, it's all my fault. Oh.
That is fact.
It was back in December of 2013, and I've been on B for. I'm an old fag. I've been on there before 1MGet. I just lurk. I never post. And I've never seen a thread before that. And I saw this fluffy thread, and I'm like, what is this? And it was just so creepy and taboo that I just could not stop looking at and being like, this is terrible. Why am I still looking at it? And I was in there for a while, and the wife came in. She's like, what are you looking at? Oh, you need to stop that now. That's terrible. And I would only look at it in secret.
Yeah.
And then I found the Booru from a couple of the threads, and I was like, huh, maybe I should make a story, and I started going through stuff. And then I joined in December or January of 2014.
Oh, wow. So it's been about a year.
Yeah, a little over a year.
So, Sketty, we've already heard sort of how Dave got into it, and we know that he was not super gung-ho about showing you Fluffy Pony, so how did you get in?
So he was writing some stuff, but he's always kind of wanted to write this book, and I just kind of assumed he was writing the book. I didn't like ask him any questions because I
fooled you.
Fooled me. He wasn't writing a book. He was writing Fluffy Pony. So he, finally he was like, you know, I'm not writing the book. And I said, well, what are you writing? And he's like, oh, well, I'm not comfortable telling you. And I said, well, that's what? Why won't you tell me? Like, what are you writing? And he says, I just don't want you to like form some weird opinion about me. And I was like, oh, all right. I mean, okay, that's fine. Whenever you're comfortable, I'll read it. Not a big deal. And he says, okay. But he joined the fluff pile and started talking to people on Skype all the time, like all the time. And then I knew about the podcast, and he had been on it, but I wouldn't listen to him. He asked me not to, actually.
Oh.
And I remember the first time I figured out where to find it, because he kept telling me, like, no, you can't find it. But I heard him say Fluffcast, and if you Google Fluffcast, it's the very first thing. So I found it real fast. But I didn't listen to it. I didn't listen to it because he didn't want me to. And then finally, we were... I think I finally listened to one, and it was the one where Aichi went to on another person's podcast. That what was that? The MLP
the Living
podcast?
Library.
Yeah, yeah, he went on that. So it was.
You might want to censor that real quick. Just censor that so they don't get any more viewers. You might double it if like 2 or 3 people check him out.
Well, anyway, I thought it was funny, and everybody sounded really funny. We had gone on vacation right after that, and he kept telling them what we were doing on vacation, and they were teasing me and through him. And I was like, well, I want to know what they're saying. He says, well, I'll just add you to the fluff pile. And I was like, no, I don't know. And he's like, yeah, I'll just add you. It'll be fine. So I started listening to them and talking to them, and I thought everybody was really funny. Nope. And then I eventually thought, oh, God.
You got it mixed up.
How?
You first joined the chat because we were all chatting and stuff, and we needed a few more people to play Cards Against Humanities online.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
So I added you in that, and that's how you first joined the chat.
That's how I first joined the chat, yeah.
And then you felt guilty.
I felt guilty. I thought I shouldn't be in this if I'm not participating in the Booru. So I started hand drawing fluffies on paper and taking a picture of them and loading it. And I did that just so that I could have a reason to be there, because I really thought, like, man, I am the only one in this chat not contributing, and that's totally not true.
Yeah, look at Weggies.
Yeah.
Oh, yikes.
Hey,
Shots
I've made
fired.
some content in the past year.
Yay. I made one the other day.
And eventually, the tablet came about.
Yeah, so I wanted to, people like Phil and Aichi and them were telling me about, well, no, Aichi doesn't use a tablet. Who else? It was Phil and somebody else were telling me about.
Probably Kibbles?
It might have been. I think Santanon also was talking about.
No, Santa uses just pencil.
It doesn't matter. Anyway, that how much easier it is with a tablet. And we found a good one. I don't even remember if it was on sale or not. And Dave lovingly, because he's a wonderful person, bought it for me. End of story.
No, that's not the end of story. That's not.
End of story. That's all.
So I had worked a 12-hour shift, and I had like a 6-hour break, and I'd go back and work another 12-hour shift. And while she was at work, the tablet came in, and I knew I was going to be asleep before she even got home. So it came in, and I very carefully opened the package for the tablet. I pulled it out, and I took a picture of it and all together. And then I took the tablet out, and I put a notepad, and I took the stylus out, and I replaced it with a mechanical pencil, and I put it all back together, and I sealed it up. And I'm laughing and laughing because I can amuse myself to no end. So I get in the chat, and there was a call going, and I told the guys, I'm like, guys, this is what I did. And they thought it was the greatest thing ever. And I told them where I hid it. And I knew, because she was in the chat, not to actually type it out, because then she would find it. So then I hid the tablet itself, and then I went to bed.
Yep. And then I came home, and I was all excited because I saw it on my desk, and I ran over, and I was like, yay, I got a new toy to play with, OMG. And I open it up, and I see the notepad, and I was like, oh, maybe they send you a notepad with it? That makes no sense. And I start opening the box, and there's nothing in there, and I immediately was like, that son of, oh my God. So I got up, I started looking around the normal hiding places, couldn't find it. Then I went straight to Skype, and I went, all right, you jerks, where is it? And they're just laughing.
And one of them said, did you look under the laundry?
Yeah. So I looked in the laundry basket, and I come back, I'm like, you guys tell me right now where it's at. And they're like, no, we don't know, ha ha ha. And then somebody finally sent me a message, is like, it's in the
Drawer.
Dresser.
Thank you, the dresser drawer. It's like, thank you. And I went in there, and there it was.
And at one point, she was standing over me as I'm sleeping, glaring, hoping I was going to wake up.
I was going to wake him up, and I didn't do it, though. I did not do it, because he had just worked 12 hours, and I felt bad about that. But I was going to wake you up.
She was so angry. It was so
shove
worth
that
it.
pencil up your butt. But I didn't.
So do you guys ever regret getting involved with Fluffy Pony?
Every
Do we
day.
ever regret getting involved with Fluffy Pony?
No, because I've actually made some good friends through the community.
Oh, yeah. We've made some really good friends.
The content is horrible, and you don't want to really share it with people, but unless you're like us, and we don't care too much, then we'll tell our friends, be like, hey, we do this stuff, and they're like...
But only our close. Like, I don't go to work and, like, put it on my resume or something. It's just... I don't tell...
Fluffy Pony.
Yes. I draw flurfies. But I don't regret it. There's some stuff on here that's just like, well, that's something that's in my browser history. Oh, well.
So is there any particular genre you prefer to consume when you go on the Booru? Like stories versus pictures, or a particular style, or anything?
I prefer pictures over stories. I don't read, I'll be honest, I don't really read the stories. There's some I do, but hardly ever, just because...
She's a liar.
I'm not...
You should really have married someone who was literate, Dave.
Yeah,
I know, and I've tried teaching her. I've tried teaching her how to spell water.
It's really hard to read.
Her nickname is Helen Keller.
She hasn't even read my story.
I have read. I read how many pages? I think I read 30 out of your 600-page story.
It's not that long.
How long is it?
Long enough.
How long is it?
I'm a guy. I'm not going to start bragging about the length. I'm just saying long enough.
It's like 100 pages.
It's the Word document's like 173.
Yeah. Yeah, nobody's got time for that.
Just saying, /flex.
73,000 words, something like that. Takenoko read it.
I did.
Did you like it? Did you like it?
It was genuinely great. Also, for the listeners, since they probably don't know what we're talking about, we're talking about Dave's story, Abandoned Angel. You can find it on his accounts. It's the one with like a bunch of posts because it's gigantic.
That's what she said.
That's what she said.
Giggity. But in regards to that, the impressive part is that it took me like 2 months to do? A month and a half, maybe?
Yeah.
Because I finished it in the middle of March, and I joined January 30th.
Yeah, you were really pumping it out, actually. It's crazy.
I was drinking a lot at the time, and that helped.
To get over the regret of writing it.
Oh, I can't believe I wrote that. I better take another shot.
Well, and he was right, because he didn't want me to read it at first, and then I finally did, and I prefer Hugbox over abuse. I'm not saying I don't consume abuse when I see it. It's fine. I'm not like, OMG, we need separate brewers, but some of it was like, wow, I'm kind of surprised he wrote that a little bit, but it wasn't enough to like make me call an 800 number.
About how long were you guys together before getting involved with Fluffies?
We met in 2007.
When'd you get involved?
And we got married in 2009, and I found the Booru in, basically 2014.
Okay.
So
7 years and you were still worried about it?
I wouldn't say worried. It was just like, oh.
I mean, Dave, because he specifically asked you not to read it. He was worried what you'd think about him.
Answer that.
It was your reaction when you first saw I was looking at that thread. And it felt like I was like 14 again, trying to look at porn with like the blanket covering my head and the monitor, like, oh, I can't let her see what I'm looking at. And it's not something that a lot of people share. Like, there's other people that are married in the group that I don't think have told their significant other about this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's I don't know. Some of it can be really gruesome, and I'm generally not a gruesome person. So, and he knows that. Like, I'm all about cutesy stuff and playing with cats, and like I'm the epitome of Hugbox, probably. Except I curse like a sailor, which I have been very good about. I might add, give me compliments. But I haven't cursed this whole time.
You can't even tell that she's from Detroit.
So, so it is a departure. So it's something that would be kind of, I can see why he was worried about it, but I'm glad he finally opened up and let me see his weird hobbies.
I mean, it's not like I'm looking at kiddie porn or anything, but this stuff can be pretty weird.
Yeah, it can be very borderline kiddie porn sometimes.
I don't know if I want to be associated with this interview anymore.
I meant the Booru. I didn't.
Hey.
I meant the Booru.
All right, just all right, guys.
Next question.
Let's start over.
No, wait, you didn't answer the question though. I answered. You didn't answer.
Which part?
I like pictures. I can't read words.
The genre and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I like all of it in a sense. Yeah. I don't have a particular favorite. I've got, favorite artists and authors, but it's not like I go searching for just Hugbox or just abuse. It depends upon the work. And I do read. I read a bunch of the stuff. So, yeah.
So, do either of you go back through the archives to look at other pictures that were posted a year or two ago, or do you guys just kind of lurk around the front page?
I started with when I first got on. I went to the last page, the oldest stuff, and I started working through. And I went through 100 pages, And I read the older stuff, like Ginger Fig, of course, and then a bunch of other people that I don't remember that aren't around anymore. And then I went to the front page, went back about 100 pages from that. So there's a good 400 pages worth of content that I've never really seen. Like, I've never read Maroon. That's about the only one, the big one that I can think of. Or Cleveland, I've never read, but I know about it. So there's a big bundle of stuff I haven't seen.
Is it
Alright.
on a to-do list, or let sleeping dogs lie?
You know, I'd have to be pretty bored to start going through all of that. It's daunting to think, like, hey, there's like 300 pages worth of stuff I have not seen. So I don't know if I'll go through it.
Makes sense. Sketty, what about you? Like, have you ever looked back at other stuff?
When I first started, I went back, I'd say maybe about like 25 to 50 pages. And then when I realized that was a never-ending life for me at that point, because I'd never make it, I just started going through like my favorite people's stuff. So like Carbine, all of our friends, so like Aichi and you know, everybody that's in the group pretty much. I went through everybody's stuff to look. Artist Coon, Santanon, I've gone through. I looked at all their stuff. But no, I haven't just gone like started from the beginning or whatnot. And plus, actually, the good thing about being in the group and in the fluff pile is that people have such a good knowledge of this stuff that if anyone makes a reference, I can just go, "Oh, who's that?" And then they can easily find it and then show you. And then I see new stuff that's actually old stuff all the time. And all I got to be like is, "Who's that person? Oh my God, that person's stuff was great. Here, look." And then that can.
Sorry, Tea Time was excellent with that stuff.
Yeah.
Tea Time, which it's a shame that he's not around as much now. Menthol and Taffy are great with that too.
Menthol can his Google Foo is unmatched when it comes to Fluffy Pony, because in 2 seconds he can find you anything. He'd be like, "Remember that guy drew? It was like a pink Fluffy and she was holding an iron," and he'd be like, "Yeah, here you go. It's right here. Found it." It's like, holy crap!
If only he could use his powers for good.
But he can't. He's pure evil. That's the problem.
Alrighty, actually one of our Tumblr questions that Phil, our very own Phil, submitted. He says, since SkettiWifu draws and Dave writes, have you guys ever thought of putting a comic together between the two of you?
We've never talked about it.
No.
Oh.
No, it's never come up. And
It's never come up, actually. We don't mix.
kind of. I mean, that's kind of true, because I've always stuck with writing. I tried to do a few drawings, which were not as terrible as some of the others that have been up there.
He actually bought a tablet that he's used twice.
Yeah, and just to mess with Aichi, I deleted my things, because there was one day he was complaining, everyone's deleting everything. So I purposely took them off just to mess with him. But that's the type of guy I am, what can I say? But I've never thought about doing a collaboration.
I think it'd probably be fun. But then you'd have to wait for... Because I don't know how long it would take to write something. And then you don't usually write in like a comic format.
No. I've never tried.
You never tried, that's true. Maybe we should try something.
Maybe we should.
Maybe we should make a comic together.
Maybe we should.
Man, it'd be all about a purple Fluffy.
So do you still update your story, Dave, or is it pretty much finished?
Oh. Since there was, when I did the story, there was such a reaction to the main antagonist that I actually came up with the idea of like, hey, how did she be? You know, what was it like before that story? Why was she? Yeah. Like, and why was she so crazy? And
crazy.
And I have got like 4 or 5 parts up already, and I've been working on the next part of it, and it's been like 4 months since my last upload. And even System the other day on Skype was like, hey, you know, it's been 4 months since you uploaded. And I said, gee, System, it's been 4 months since you did free range fluffies. So I've got the next part in the works.
Did you just call him out? Like,
did.
what was
I
the point of that?
Got
wow.
You're terrible.
I am not. He deserves it.
You're just like, I'm gonna call you out.
And speaking of system, drop bears. Just saying.
Wow.
And spiders, and drop bears.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Next.
So it will. I am going to keep working on it until I get her part finished with the other fluffies, and then after that, I don't know. I think it might be done.
With just that story, or just like writing fluffy stuff all together?
That story. I did have another story which nobody should read, and that one's done. And I don't know if I have any more fluffy stories in me. I did have fun writing Fluffy Jesus, so maybe that'll become a thing. Which Takenoko you might remember from the contest.
Oh, yes, that's right. That was pretty good.
That was probably my favorite story I wrote.
You need a muse.
I do.
Alright, let's move on to some more general fluffy stuff. So, fluffy, often debated fluffy topic is its relation to the actual show of My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic. What are your thoughts on that, Sketty?
I think he and I have the same kind of thing about it. I'm all about it being not actually a fluffy, or excuse me, not a pony. Like they're not that Hasbro created them because of the show though, so that they're related. Like they wanted to make a toy for the show, but I haven't really given it a ton of thought. I do like that idea though, so that's kind of
Okay.
Well, tell us a little bit about your headcanon.
Let's see. I don't have a 100% thing. It depends on what I'm drawing at the time because I just haven't been. Sorry, I'm reading my answers because I wrote them down to make sure that I was talking about. But
Fair
like
enough.
I don't have the sizes or anything that seems to change with every picture that I draw. So I like to think they're about the size of cats. But I don't have a 100% concrete thing. I don't. I'm sorry. I just want to make sure I'm reading my stuff. I'm really sorry.
Don't worry about it.
Litter size and gestation period, I haven't given that any thought at all. I have no idea. I haven't even played with the idea of little baby ones yet. The only ones I've drawn have been like fully grown fluffies. I think wings are ornamental. They can't fly. But I think the horn can be used if they were smart enough to use it, but I don't know how they would use it unless they were fighting with each other, but I haven't played with that yet. Intelligence level, it depends on what I'm writing or what I'm drawing. I have a fluffy that counted to 10, and people in the comments were like super mad about it. They're like, fluffies can't count to 10. I was like, listen, it's my fluffy. She counts to 10. But I think it depends on their background. So I think there are stupid fluffies and there are smart fluffies, but it depends on like their owner and if they actually taught them or anything. So like Becca in my little story, she's smart, but Travis probably isn't that smart because he had a mean owner and she had a very nice owner who gave her blocks and stuff. Fluffy origin, I haven't really played with that in my stories. But I like that. I like thinking of the Hasbro made a bunch of them and then just made way too many of them. So there's like bunches of them all over the place, and that's why they roam because people are mean. Just like they stick their cat out, just like forget you cat. They do the same thing with the fluffies. So Hasbro, Hasbro. Thank you. I never Hasbro.
I think Hasbro sounds cute.
Hasbro sounds really cute. I like mine.
It's adorable.
It's
That's French. Mutagen would know that.
Mutagen's my best friend. Don't make fun of him.
Oh my.
Don't make fun of Frenchie.
So, how about you, Dave? Like, do you have a headcanon?
Sort of. I mean, there's nothing out of the ordinary. The whole idea that they came from, Hasbio, PETA did their thing, and then they got all crazy. Size and weight, I figured they were just like the size of a Pomeranian type dog. A tiny dog, bigger than a cat. Life expectancy, I figured, was maybe 7 years, and just like a tiny horse type thing. I didn't really do much with derped fluffies, but I did accept that. And one thing I've noticed is that there's not a lot of resets in stories anymore.
Oh,
That was kind of thing that disappeared. Alicorns, the usual. Oh, they're monsters. I'm going through the list. Hi.
Hi, words.
Hi.
Litter size. I figured, anywhere from 2 to 8, depending, kind of like cats, with runts, which was something I mentioned in one of my stories. The wings, just there for decoration, basically. They couldn't do anything except flap. Horns, I didn't do the MLP stuff where they could create sparks or magic.
I should do that.
You should.
I think it'd be cute.
Intelligence level, I figured they were probably as smart as an African Grey, which has the intelligence of a 2-year-old, except they could talk. Because, those are pretty smart birds. 4 birds at least. That'd be kind of similar.
Birds are
And
nuts.
Yeah,
They can be. I like
birds
birds.
are weird.
Yeah.
Cats.
Whatever. Birds are better. Smarties, of course. They're assholes. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
I mean, nothing crazy.
yeah, that's pretty normal, I suppose.
What about what genetic makeup? What do you mean by that? Genetic makeup? Are they
Genetic
creatures?
makeup was referring to if Hasbio actually took genetic DNA and traits from specific animals. So I think a fluffy pony is made up of a pig, a dog,
Oh, I
a
see.
human. What was spliced together to create this abomination of nature?
Oh, I haven't thought about it, but I haven't really thought about the fact that they're created, but that they can breed. I know people have touched on why that can happen, but I haven't really played with that. That's something I should think about. I'll think about it.
Yep, always room to expand in Fluffy Pony.
Oh yeah.
Within reason.
No, I'm gonna
No,
do whatever I
no.
want. It's whatever I want.
There is no within reason when it comes to Fluffy. Fluffy's
I don't-
original creation was fourth wall and physics breaking hilarity.
Which is funny because when I first started, I kept asking Dave can they do this? Can they do this? Can they do this? And he just kept saying do whatever you want. What do you want them to do? They can do that. And I would get I'd get really hung up on it, and I'd read the comments. And they're they can't. Like I said, when I had her count to 10, they can't count to 10. I was but I wanted her to count to 10. I needed it for my story. And Dave was just stop even caring what they just put what you want in there. It doesn't matter. There's no actual 100% canon. It's your story. Do what you want.
And never argue with the nons.
And don't argue with the nons because there's no reason to. Forget they're there.
And don't argue headcanon.
Don't argue headcanon because it's my headcanon. Dang it.
No one can take that from you.
No, it's mine. I can take it to the grave.
So, of the content you guys have created for the Booru, some of your fans have created pictures and stories of their own. How does that make you feel?
Did you hear that? We have fans.
I know. I have a fan.
Oscillating fans.
Yeah. You got fan art.
I did. I got some from Fractal Fluff, Nails. Fluffy did one. I asked Santanon to do one for me, and it's pretty neat that some people went out of their way.
Art if you commission it, Dave.
No,
Yeah,
but some of them did it on their own. Some of them did it on their own, like 2 of them.
Uh-huh.
That it was pretty neat.
Yeah, I had I've had some edits of mine, which were cute. One specifically by Autism, who's not around anymore, but she made one and it was really cute. But my story hasn't had a lot of fan art, but my character SkettiWifu has. Like, I actually love SkettiWifu, and now that there's Sam Fluff, there's lots of art of me and her, and then of Spaghetti Dave.
Yeah,
there's lots of Spaghetti Dave pictures too.
Not a lot.
Well, there's some. They're cute.
Just looking at the group shots, whatnots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Alrighty, how do you feel about some of the subtypes and spin-off fluffies that have been created over the times?
Abominations.
Kill them all. They're terrible. The hell. Get rid of them.
The sea fluffies I have no problem with. Breezies, I don't know if anyone remembers those. It lasted for a week where it was like fluffies the size of insects, and that just didn't catch on, which I was okay with. It just doesn't do it for me.
I think they're cute. I like seeing everything. I just think all that kind of... I especially like the sea fluffies. I thought it was really just adorable. Some people were drawing like the sea fluffies and then the actual fluffies wanting to play with them and then drowning. Like, that's just... They were really cute. So I like that stuff. Anything that creates more content, I want to see it.
Okay. So regarding like fluffy related stuff, there are a bunch of things in the fandom that people like to argue about. You know, is this or is this not fluffy related? So to start off, what about Flufflepuff?
She's totes adorbs. Cutest thing in the whole world. I had to Google it to find out what she was. But cutest thing ever, I think, is totally a fluffy. Dave?
Yeah.
It's like, who again?
Yeah.
I've seen Flufflepuff. I understand, if maybe I'm incorrect on this, that it is a MLP fluffy that is just, or an MLP horse that is just really fluffy, and that was
fluffy.
Sort of.
It's a fluffy.
It's not. And Takenoko or Weggies may correct me, but I thought that it was a MLP horse that was just really fluffy.
It's an opinion question, so...
Yeah. Like, some people say that she's a fluffy pony. Some say that she is a pony that is fluffy, and that is completely different from a fluffy pony.
Yes.
And maybe we'll never know. Maybe
Putting the word in front of it, having the words change, that makes it a different thing completely.
He has gone on record to say that she isn't. However, that could just be an attempt to distance himself from the fandom of Fluffy Pony.
I don't know why anyone would want to do that.
Right. The Fluffy Pony fandom is just amazing. They're all great. There's no bad people in it at all.
Either
of course
way,
not.
she's super cute. Super cute.
What about some non-fluffy OC characters that have been created? Some of our members of fandom, such as yourself, SkettiWife, have a actual fluffy for an avatar. However, a lot of us don't. How do you
guys
feel?
Are weird.
Is that stuff still fluffy related?
I'm the most fluffy related. You guys are all weird, and you should change that. That's really... No, I like all of the non-fluffy characters, and I like them on the Booru. I like all of them. I think I like it, but it should be fluffy related in some way. So, like, you never just see Noodles by himself. Like, usually Noodles is doing something with a fluffy, and usually it's legal.
Well, I think you mean that in regards to Taffy and Squibbing.
Taffy's a fluffy, though.
Taffy's
Taffy's actual
blob.
taffy. He's a blob of taffy.
He is a fluffy. He's a taffy fluff.
No.
Sentient blob of
There's
taffy.
There's no opinion on this. No, you're wrong. I'm sorry.
Oh, he's a taffy fluffy.
No, he's not.
Ugh.
Oh boy.
Fight,
You're a
fight,
sentient
fight,
bowl of
fight.
spaghetti.
I am a sentient bowl of spaghetti
It's
because
there.
the idea was is that I couldn't handle you anymore, so I murdered you. And as I was going to bury the body, Funkshire showed up with his dickicorn and was like, "What the hell's going on?"
That's a good,
And he went to do
that was good.
some black magic, and kind of goofed and turned you into a zombie Fluffy,
Yep.
and me into a sentient bowl of spaghetti, and was like, "I can't handle this," and he just left.
And then you killed me anyway, and then you put me in the freezer.
Well, yeah.
And I made a picture of me in a freezer, and nobody got it except for the people in the fluff pile, which makes sense because they're the ones that made that headcanon, was that I lived in a freezer. But Aichi made a very cute comic of Spaghetti Dave going to the freezer to get some food, and I was in there eating some chicken. It's adorable. I love it.
So, we're going to wrap this up a bit, or start wrapping up, I guess. So, do you search for or block any specific tags when you log onto the Booru?
Nope. I just go to the front page. I absorb it all, and yet for some reason I still can go through the brew and not cry like a little baby every time. It's really weird. I just don't look at the things I don't like, and I click on the things I do like.
Stop liking things I don't like.
That is very rare. You'd think people would do that, but...
It's really funny, isn't it, how that works?
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't like Anthro, you could just blacklist Anthro.
Or don't click on it, maybe.
Or
Because you can see
don't
what
click
it
on
is. You can see what it is from the thumbnail. Just scroll past. It's really hard to do, I know.
And as much as I've liked to, or at least entertain the idea of blocking certain people, I don't care enough. It's not going. I don't get angry.
We're
I
too
never
old
get
to
so
care.
angry I beat my wife at the end of the day because abuser posted.
No, it's not because of abuse, sir.
But you don't beat her over Fluffy Pony. You beat her over
No.
other things.
Well, yeah.
No, of course.
Don't say it, the beatings will start again.
Those people just get too upset over just stupid stuff.
No, I just click on it all. I don't, other than the stories, because I don't know how to read. Every single picture is purple around it, because I click on them all. And then just whatever ones I don't like, I just close that tab. And then the ones I do like, I just read. I can't stand when there isn't a purple thing around it. It's like, oh, I missed one click. Okay, good. Whew.
So, are there any people who, when they post their art or they post their stories, is there anyone that you really look forward to seeing?
Yes.
Yes. I love Wolfram Sparks' Spinel, or Spine. I don't know how you say it. I can't even say Hasbio. But I like that Spinel series, and I like the Scooter Fluff. It's very cute, and I am always waiting for that.
Alright, what about Dave?
Oh, let's see. Art, Fluffy, who does not post much anymore. She has some good stuff. I like it. Carp Dime.
Yeah, Curb Time.
I love Carp Dime's work. Yeah, there's a bunch of artists that I don't go out of my way to look for, because I generally click on everything. But as for stories, a couple people that don't really post much anymore, Anani Mouse and Swindle. I love their stuff.
Ah, Swindle.
Yes, Swindle has some great stuff. The what was it, Apple Fluff? I think it was.
Yeah.
Where the
that'd
Fluffy kept like eating random shit or just accidentally getting into something, and it was just so adorable. And then Fractal Fluff with his Lyle was probably one of my favorites, and I wish Fractal would, do more work with that.
Fluffsplosion.
Oh, yeah,
Love. I love Fluffsplosion. I
Who is
love that art style so much.
Is that the one that took one of your ideas and did that comic?
No, that was Pinky Fluffy, and I love Pinky Fluffy too. And that one's controversial because people are really torn between that art style. But I love that art style. Yeah, she did or he, sorry, did I had a fluffy eating, what's the green stuff that comes with sushi? Wasabi. And
Ah.
they made a much cooler version of it. And they put my name on it. And I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. I love Pinky Fluffy.
My only issue with Pinky Fluffy was with some of their older stuff, their first uploads. They were holding forks.
Oh
You
yeah.
know,
They don't have fingers. You can't hold a fork without opposable digits.
You know,
In
after
fact, there
you
were no
complained,
digits.
after you complained about that, I started drawing Fluffies holding stuff just because of you.
You bitch.
Oh man.
Oh, that was my only issue. I really liked their art. Their style was very unique to anything else on the Booru, and it was great. It was just, for some reason, just that one little thing just made my eye twitch. How are they holding that? They're not.
He's
They're
so
not holding
mad.
that.
He wakes up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat and he just yells, "They can't hold forks."
So what would you like to see more of on the Booru? What concepts or tropes?
Fat cheek fluffies. Smarty
What?
poofy. Poofy cheek fluffies. I think that's adorable. There needs to be more of that.
Puffed cheeks.
Hold
Puff
on.
cheeks, smarty fluffies.
Okay, there we go. Okay.
Okay. I think
And
we
I'm
got
the one
it.
that's drinking.
cheeky fluffies with their smarts all poofed. That's what I want more of.
Dave?
Less polar bears.
Less.
Sorry, I'm going through this thing and it says less polar bears. I mean polarization.
Oh.
It's
What?
it's the rum's kicked in. I'm sorry.
Apparently.
I'm not sorry, but
Oh boy.
the Booru has become so polarized. And everyone is just like abuse, or oh no, hug box only. And then you got the weird people like Whitico, like, oh, I need my junk in a fluffy. It's like, guys, just appreciate it all. You can't have one without the other.
What's wrong
Yeah.
with this picture? I'm not in this fluffy.
But that's what a lot of it has turned into, is that it's so polarized. You can only have abuse, you can only have hug box. It's like, no, you can't appreciate one without the other. And that was one of the things why I did the story the way I did, was that there was only just abuse, only just hug box, and I wanted to have a story with all the different elements. And the fact that I made people cry at the end of the story just felt so good.
That's just because you're evil and you want to.
Well, that too. I
Everybody
wanted to
feels.
instill the feels, and people need to just mellow out and accept it all.
Yeah,
Just lie back and take it.
because creepy. Because
Just
I
lie.
don't love abuse, but I completely like well drawn or well executed abuse. I'm fine with it. Like, I have abuse in my favorites. Carp Dime's abuse, I'm always fine with that because there's
No
a reason
sloppy
for
abuse.
it. Just no sloppy abuse. I don't want.
I want this premeditated and very clean, okay?
I want it to have purpose and reason. I'm fine with that. Not just like, I don't know.
Oh,
I
if
can't- I
Fluffy
don't want-
wandered into the yard, I'm gonna rape it.
Yeah, like that's, I don't know. I don't know. I like my abuse like I like my porn. It has to have a story.
Cook is not on menu.
The cook is not on menu. That's
So-
a really stupid reference you
my.
just made to a porn
Wow.
that no one's gonna get.
I wasn't expecting that.
Should I even tell the story?
No.
Okay.
Next. This is all about
Next.
fluffies.
So
This-
what would
this
you
just
like to
got
see
weird.
less of on the Booru?
I'll let you go first.
No, I mean there's really nothing that
That triggers you?
there's nothing that triggers me. Like, I don't know. I guess less cigarettes being put onto fluffy genitals. I'd like to see less of that, I guess. But it's not going to bother me if someone if there's fluffy genital being burned by cigarettes week. I'm not gonna like leave.
A whole week? Oh
Writing it
my!
down.
I smell a new contest.
Like I'm not gonna rage quit the Booru because of it.
Great, we're gonna see Takenoko's new contest. What's the most creative way you can put out a cigarette on a Fluffy's genitals? Way to make it weird.
And you?
Dave?
You know, the only stuff it just doesn't do it for me is Anthro. But whoa. Hey. It just doesn't do it for me. A lot of the art is good. Lamia has some amazing stuff.
Oh yeah.
And actually, there was even another new one posted within the last 24 hours or so, which was Odyssey of Noises. That was their first post, which
Was
I
good.
thought was really good.
Yeah.
Anthro is a part of the Fluffy community. It's been around for a long time. It's not my thing, but if I had blacklisted it, I wouldn't have seen, like, hey, they did a really good upload. The art style is pretty good. I like it. But it doesn't do it for me, so I'm never going to just be like, oh man, I can't wait for Anthro Week again. But I don't hate anything enough to blacklist. So it's kind of a conflict on that one. As long as it's related to Fluffies, go ahead and upload it. I'm not going to, start talking smack. Unless you're Whitico.
If you're Whitico, then get out.
Yes.
Yeah, well, on that note,
I am Whitico, and I must get out. So
our apologies to any Whitico-kin out there. But now is the part of the episode where we go to Tumblr. We check what people want to ask you.
Uh-oh.
Okay, we already asked Phil's questions. Thank you, Phil.
thank you, Phil.
Phil was
So-
here.
Yeah, Phil
Phil's
was here. So let's start at the bottom here. Something that we ask pretty much all of our guests is Anonymous asks, if Fluffies were an ice cream, which flavor or breed would you eat?
Oh God. Go ahead.
Neapolitan, because then you get one of each flavor and color.
This is
Aw, how
a
cute.
weird question. I just don't like. Do I have to eat the fluffy? So am I eating a fluffy in a thing?
It's an abstract question.
It doesn't make any sense. Then chocolate, because a brown one, I guess, because that's what I like.
With wings. There
With
have to be
wings.
wings sticking
With
out
wings.
of the bowl.
I do like wings, so a chocolate one with wings.
She
All right.
she likes eating a chocolate bowl, Dave.
Oh.
I know what
Yeah,
I'm
there-
doing after the interview.
There was no way that wasn't going to turn weird.
Alright. So, Funkshire asks, so how do you guys settle arguments at home? And or how does it feel to be the Buru's premier married couple?
We're only the premier married couple because no one else is willing to share this with their spouses.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's something to be proud of.
It's been a great trust exercise. Just try it. Either it'll it'll end very poorly or it'll end very wonderfully. Go ahead with your answer first, though.
For ending arguments, I guess I try to beat her. I mean, it never worked. She's abusive. I've had bruises. She's given me bloody noses, and she cries after she hits me every time, and apologizes that it will never happen again.
Really?
Yeah.
That's not how we settle arguments. Actually, how we actually settle arguments is I get really sad and upset, and then I don't want to talk, and then I go away for like hours, and then eventually, like, he just kind of has a stopwatch or something, and he knows how long he has to wait, and then he comes over when it dings, and he's like, "Hey, honey, you want to talk about it?" And I'll say no, and then he comes over like, "No, we should talk about it." Okay, and then that's how we settle our arguments. Just wait a couple hours. Time heals for me.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, Anonymous asks, Dave and Sketty, how long have you been married, and when will you have kids?
Thanks, Mom. I didn't know
Yeah.
she knew how to get to the Tumblr.
Kids are currently not an option.
They're not on the menu.
Nope. I had this conversation with my wife some time ago, and I said to her, "Are you sure about kids?" And she said, "Not really." And I said, "How about this? If we can be child-free, I'll buy you a kitten."
That's
And
actually
she
true.
said, "Just a kitten?" And I said, "And I'll take you to Vegas every year." And she said, "When can we get the kitten?"
Yeah. And he said right after Vegas. No, we went camping, actually. That's right
Yes,
after
it was
camping.
like the week after camping. She got the kitten.
And then 2 years later, my biological clock was ticking. And I said, maybe I kind of want to have kids. And he says, what about another cat? I said, well,
There's currently 3 cats in the house right
we
now.
have 3 cats now.
And now we're talking about a dog because she's upping the ante.
Yeah, now I'm saying, like, man, I really want a kid. I'm thinking twins. And he's like, what about a dog? Like, I think a
I
dog
see your
would be
game.
pretty great. It's not a for sure yes or no. We've had the talk a lot, and it's mostly whatever I decide, pretty much. Like, he promised he'll be a good dad. I didn't say great dad.
And I do have a lawyer on retainer should things fall apart.
Yep. He said he wouldn't like disown it or anything if
I would.
if I wanted to have kids.
I would.
When
But he
runs
did
out
say-
of pets to bribe you with.
When he runs out of pets, but he did say that the kid cannot play with the toys though. But they would play with Lego together, but not with anything in the case.
The dolls.
The dolls.
You don't want to play with dolls with your kids,
Hey,
Dave?
hey. They're action figures. They're collectibles.
but,
Hey,
but the other part of the question, we've been married for 5 wonderful years. 5 amazing,
very
great,
long years.
and we've been together for 7 amazing years.
I have so much more gray hair at this point.
That's true, because you're getting old.
So when the little ones do come along, are they going to be called Linguini Steve?
No,
Rigatoni Bill.
no. I mean, Bill, what kind of middle name is that?
Yeah. You
No,
call him
if,
Riggy.
if we have a girl, it would be the first name would be after my sister, and then if we have a boy, it would be Keith with the middle name of Danger.
Yeah, Danger. Like
Uh-huh.
that was in the prenup.
I mean, it would be. I'm just saying, how many people can say my middle name is Danger?
All those people whose middle name is actually Danger.
Well, there's not a lot of them. And frankly, every one of them probably thanked their parents for it.
I mean, how cool, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That kid be being raised by us. Think about it.
What is this world coming to?
We can't
So-
adopt, but we can have kids.
Well, Anonymous asks, boxers, briefs, or thongs?
Yes.
Anonymous asks, does Fluffy Pony make you love each other stronger or weaker?
I guess in a roundabout way, probably stronger, because we have a hobby together.
It went successful.
Yep, it was successful.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I guess.
All right. So, Anonymous asks, any particular things you two disagree about as far as fluffies go?
We don't really talk about that.
Yeah, we
Aside
never
from,
played.
Aside from holding things in their hooves.
Oh yeah, I guess that. I think they can hold things in their hand, in their paw.
I mean, that just came up from the interview. Thanks, guys.
Oof. Great. Now that's it. Finally. For
Now
the
she's going to be silent for the next few hours, and I'm going to have to wait before I can talk to her. Good job. Good job.
Let me set the clock.
Oh boy.
Alrighty. Anonymous asks, how much money has the cat tree conjured thus far, Sketty?
Okay.
Yeah.
Listen,
let's hear this.
person who put this question in there, who I know who you are because you're a butt. Aichi. this cat tree has been wonderful, okay, and it has well exceeded the amount of money I paid for it out of use. There's currently a cat in it at this moment. There is a cat sleeping in this cat tree, okay? They're making fun of me because the only thing I wanted to go out and get on Black Friday, because I work retail. I'm a manager in retail, and I refuse to go shopping on Black Friday because it's the devil's holiday. I did want to go out and get this cat tree that was on sale. So we stood in line. We woke up at 5 a.m. and stood in line and bought this cat tree.
And we were not the only assholes at a PetSmart at
Nope.
6:45 in the morning
Waiting
in
for
line.
But there were not that many people going in to get cat trees. They were all buying kitty litter. But I got a cat tree. Don't you like a kitty? Here you do. He's sleeping. He loves it.
Well, Anonymous asks, "Hi Dave, I really liked Abandoned Angel, and I was wondering, are you going to be doing any more series in the future?"
I guess we kind of covered that one.
We kind
Yeah,
of did.
kind of. I mean, as for other stories, I don't have anything, in line. But I do want to finish up the stuff I have for Abandoned Angel. So beyond that, no idea.
Alrighty. Let's move on to the final part. In closing, we like to talk about motivation for your creating content for the Booru, and if it's limited to just fluffy ponies. So let's start with SkettiWife. What's your motivation when you're doing artwork?
Usually, like lately, especially after I did my story. And that story, the only motivation was I just kind of wanted to try to do a story to see if I could. And I wasn't particularly happy with how it turned out. I'm just not a storyteller. I can barely draw, let alone try to put a story together. So it was really difficult. So lately, like the one-offs I've been doing, it's been because of conversations I'm having with friends. So like we were teasing Osmeander. He said that Aichi's headcanon is that he's a jizz fluff. So I drew a jizz fluff because I thought it was funny. And so that's just kind of how it's been. If I got a little bug up my butt to draw something at that moment, I got to do it right then though. Because if I say, oh, I'll draw it later, I won't. Like I have to have that muse at that moment and think that that thing was funny. Or like my photograph Fluffy. Look at this photograph. That's just because of that podcast, that Fluffcast. And I still laugh about it because I think that joke's funny, even though I wrote it. So that's where I get my inspiration.
Have you thought about maybe discussing your story that you would like to write with Dave and let him actually author it?
Now that he sounds like he's a little interested. Because before, I don't know if he remembers, I did ask him a little bit for help.
I don't remember.
No, he doesn't. And he was just kind of like, oh, just draw what you want.
Great, good job, guys. You started another fight.
So actually, you know what I had to do? Because Dave wouldn't help me. Aichi gave me some story ideas. So I think his was the basis for whatever my last upload was for that story, with the waking up and thinking that Travis was with his old owner, but he was actually with his current owner. So yeah, I stole ideas from Aichi. That's what I did. But yeah, I'd love to use Dave. I'd love to use him and abuse him. I think that'd be a great idea.
You can't see me glaring, but I am.
I can feel it.
Tak? Maybe we lost Takenoko.
Oh
no,
no.
I'm here.
Oh, he's here. No, but Dave didn't answer.
Yeah. I was waiting for Dave.
My motivation, rum and whiskey. I did almost all of that writing for that story intoxicated.
That's true.
And I'm not exaggerating.
That's true.
That's
So it's not good for his liver.
That's about it. It was
Find
I was
another
drinking
way.
a lot. Yeah, well,
Nah.
Weird. Little weird end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More awkward silence.
That's okay. So there were no other
That's
questions
it.
on me from Anons or anything. That was it.
Did
Nope.
someone ask if I'm still yelling at my cats? That was a
Maybe.
stupid question.
We had to delete quite a few stupid
Yeah.
questions that came in. But then again,
Yeah.
we get those for all of our guests.
Everybody.
Oh,
Menthol asked, but we already answered your question, Menthol, about if Fluffy Pony messes with our life, and only by me accidentally calling him Dave. Other than that, it don't.
or actually, I did have a friend that I mentioned that I brought up fluffy ponies, and he was like, "Oh, really?" And I mentioned, "Hey, I did the story for this," and he got this look on his face like he smelled something really bad.
Was it the furry though? Like, does he have room to
It was
talk?
Joel. No, it was Joel.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, like, come on. How can
No,
anyone judge?
Our friend that is kind of into furry stuff, he was like, "Oh, really? Okay." And
Yeah, he
that
was fine with it.
But in regards to him, I was like, "Hey, you should check this stuff out. Check the site. You know, it's slightly remotely related to the stuff you're into." And he was like, "Yeah, that's even a little too messed up for me." So congratulations, everyone that has made it this far through this.
Yeah. I'm
There are
surprised you listened to this
furries
whole
that
thing.
will not participate in fluffies because it's a little too messed up.
So, with that in mind, do you have any parting words of wisdom for the listeners that made it this far in?
Contribute. Fucking
Yeah.
contribute. Do
Make
something.
stuff.
I mean, there's people like Abuser that have made stuff and people have looked at. Just,
Wow.
just do something.
If he can do it,
Yeah, or
anybody can do it.
I mean, come on. I mean, come on.
Wow. And don't worry about the comments. The Booru is all about tough love, like super tough love. And it's difficult when you're a sensitive soul, but just ignore the comments. If you make good stuff, just try to keep making good stuff. If you make really terrible stuff, well, I don't know what to tell you, but if you try to make good stuff and you really put your heart into it as much as you can for such a silly hobby, ignore the comments. Just do what you want to do, and then just realize that people don't hate you. It's just the internet. That's all it is.
No. Ignore Anons.
Ignore
Anons
Anons.
are just shit. Anonymouses are just shit.
Yep, they're terrible.
Yeah. Everyone
And then-
else, take with a grain of salt. But Anons, just ignore.
Anons.
Anon.
Anonymous. They're zombies.
Alrighty. Thanks for joining us today, Fluff Queen, SkettiWifu, and SpagettiDave. We
Thank you.
appreciate your cooperation in our ongoing effort to meet the content creators of the Booru, and we hope that the watchers gain a deeper understanding of you and gain some more followers today. So, I've been Weggies.
I've been Takenoko.
Thanks for watching.
Goodbye.
Bye.